Welcome back to Keep It Moving. I got Bryan Davis here. Scumbags that lift.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man. All right. I like that name, man. When I came across your plate on Instagram, I saw that. I was like, damn, this kind of reminds me of Mike Tyson. You remember what Mike Tyson used to do?
Oh, the mean mug look and everything.
No, not only that, he would actually punch himself. He would be the first one to talk about his flaws and his imperfections before you could and beat you to it, right? And he became a master of that, and despite him punching himself, we think about Mike Tyson. He's got a bunch of accolades. He's done a lot of things, amazing fighter, but he mastered how to punch himself first before you do.
Yeah.
And when I saw that and I was looking at the way you guys interact with each other in the gym, man, it's pretty cool and unique what you do, man. And that title, man, Scumbags That Lift, man, I thought about that. I was like, oh, wow, okay, this guy's going to be interesting to sit down with. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great.
Good, man. Good. First of all, like I said, where'd that name come from, man? What made you think of that concept?
It's a very funny thing. I think a lot of it came from like my mentality in life. You are your biggest fan and your worst enemy, no matter what anybody says. You're going to be your hardest critic.
Okay.
And also, I think to get to the point where you have to be focused on you have to be kind of a scumbag and be very selfish and self-centered and just focus on your goals at some point. And that's kind of like where it came from. It's also kind of like a nickname that someone gave me. Kind of a douche. I'm kind of a dirtbag. But in a very lovable way. And that's like the joke was, Matt, you're the most lovable scumbag I've ever met.
Right.
And
yeah, it's kind of like you have to have a little bit of self-love for yourself. You got to be able to reserve something. You got to be selfish with the love that you have for yourself. And you just frame it in a category of being a scumbag, but at the end of the day, I look at it as having some self-love. You got to be able to have that in order to be able to give love.
Yeah.
Being selfish with that and being able to build yourself up. How's that working for you?
I feel like with just like anything else, it's a process, I think we talked about it for a quick minute, or you've seen my bio stuff. It's been a very up and downhill my entire life. And, right now I'm up right now. So
nice.
Obviously I'm up.
Well, we're glad to have you here, man. So when you say up and down, what does that look like? Are you talking about as far as finances, talking about wave, life in general, et cetera, et cetera? What does that mean?
A little bit of everything, like I've dealt with a lot of like mental health.
Okay.
Throughout my entire life, pretty much.
Yeah.
And that was like the pinnacle of everything. That's where it all starts. That's the root. That and like my childhood. And it's like there was a lot of like self-hatred there. And it's still there. There is some like things where I'm like, okay, this isn't enough. I know I can do more. This is enough. And it's like where I'm still trying to learn to give myself grace. And so that's like the process. Like I said, it's a process. Like it's learning to love yourself in a way where you give yourself grace, where you critique yourself in ways that's not going to bring you down.
Right.
And so, yeah.
Is there like a certain process that you use to do that, or what does that really look like? When you're giving yourself grace and you learn how to give yourself self-love, what does that look like?
I know this is like on my page I promote it, mental health, especially for like men, because like we're the hardest ones to seek that help when we need it.
Right.
Therapy. I go to therapy.
Oh man, I'm so glad that you mentioned that, man. I always tell people that therapy is big, and like you said, especially for men. We got this thing to where we a lot of us been raised the wrong way, incorrectly. That's what I say. Men don't cry. tough, well, straighten up, hold your head up, wipe those tears away,
Yeah.
and these things build a false sense of reality. Reality is, there's times when we may feel like we need to cry. Let that shit out.
Yeah.
There's times when we feel like we need to be able to be vulnerable and be able to express how we really feel, what we're really thinking. And I'm not saying just be a chatty patty and go talk to anybody, but having somebody that you could trust and confide in that's going to give you some good feedback and you can be able to allow you to be able to have that release is important. Because if you hold it in and you're holding it in, it's just a matter of time before
You're a bomb waiting to.
it's going to blow, man.
Yeah.
It's going to blow, and it's going to end up not working in your favor.
Exactly.
It's going to be bad for everybody, and more detrimental to yourself. So it's big, man. It's like you say, it's important more so for men, and I congratulate you on taking the steps of getting therapy. Now, are you still doing it, or is this something?
Yeah, I'm still actively doing it. I go like once a week.
Mm.
I'll do like video call.
Mhm.
It's just easier for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, kind of like, I've been in and out of there. I was like every other guy, wasn't worth anything. Didn't mean anything to me. It wasn't like, how do I explain it? Like, there was no growth coming from that when
Mm-hmm.
and I've been in therapy since I was a kid. Like,
Okay. So your parents got you into it.
yeah, there was like a big incident on why.
Okay.
We'll touch that later if you want.
Yeah, man. Whatever, man. Whatever you're comfortable with, man.
But yeah, like I'll just talk about it now. I was probably like 10, 11, attempted suicide. And that was like a rock bottom. Like I said, I've dealt with mental health issues my whole life. I also didn't grow up in the best family environment.
Yeah, I was gonna say, at 10 or 11 years old, that's very young.
Yeah.
And to take that path, there must have been something really horrific going on.
Yeah.
Bad that, in my opinion, that led you down the path to where you wanted to, you want to kill yourself.
Yeah.
And what was that all about?
It was just like, one, I look very white. I'm actually Hispanic. And when you're white living in an all Hispanic neighborhood or white looking, it's, you get picked on. And, yeah, I used to get jumped every day.
So with some bullying
A
involved.
lot of bullying. I was getting jumped every day, fights, constant fights. I mean, I was a little weird kid too. I'll admit that. I'm a weird adult too still. I was nerdy. I was like geeky. I had little quirks and stuff. And
Yeah. We're all weird, man, in some
Yeah.
type of way.
and like kids didn't like that. So, yeah, sure enough. And then it just progressed from like kindergarten. I remember getting picked on in kindergarten. And also I was like, as I'm older now, I understand that I was a people pleaser as a kid. So I wanted people to like me. So I did weird shit to make people like me. People found it entertaining, but then they're like, yeah, that kid, weird kid. It's like they were laughing at me, not with me. But I was like, I'll make you friends.
So you think you're making friends the right way, but at the end of the day, you're establishing a relationship that really has no boundaries, and you're presenting yourself as a clinic.
Yeah. And so like that was like from kindergarten. Eventually I just kept to myself a lot, or I tried to. Then there was just like a lot of fighting all the time. Fighting at home, fighting at school.
Two-parent home? Mother and father there?
Mother, father were there. Father was working a lot though.
Okay.
Yeah, my parents had me in sports and all that. It was just like, it was hectic outside of school.
Any brothers and sisters?
2 older sisters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the only male figure in the house for you was your dad, and he's working all the time.
Yeah, he was working all the time.
Okay.
A lot of time I was like, at like they're family to me. I grew up with them. I call them my cousins.
Mm-hmm.
I was always at my cousin's house, and so it's 3 boys over there, or it was 3 boys. Now there's 4. So 3 boys and like one girl. So I was always with them. I was always like doing boys things, you know, like if my sisters came, like we'd all pick on her, or if they both came, we picked on both of them.
Just doing things the kids do.
Yeah, kids do, you know, like passing each other, pushing each other in the bushes, playing football in the street, just like soccer, like whatever.
Right.
And
it's all part of growing up.
Yeah.
All part of growing up.
And I didn't have that. Like if they were like out of town, like I didn't have that. And so, and at school, like I said, like at school, that was like non-existent.
Right.
They're all in different grades.
So when you said when they were out of town, you didn't have that. You didn't have your cousins and friends to be able to play with and do the things that kids do, like we were speaking of.
Yeah, like once, like I'd go hang out with people that didn't like me, and like, but like they thought I was weird, so they thought it was funny to have me around, and I was like, oh, you know, they like me, and I think that most people would feel this. Like, I wish I knew that then, so that I would have grown quicker. Whatever. But yeah, it was all like, that's pretty much how it was. It was just like a lot of that, and then we ended up moving, so I didn't live next to my cousins anymore. I wasn't really allowed to, like, you know, go run down a couple blocks away and hang out with them. So then I just saw them every once in a while. Then they ended up moving. So then that like time span with grew more.
So now you're just kind of like basically by yourself and with these guys that you think, hanging with these kids that you think that, you know, you're building a friendship with, but they're really laughing at you.
Yeah.
You're the butt of their jokes.
Yeah. And then like the fighting continued after that. After like I attempted, there was like a short incident where like kids decided like I said, I was very hated, I guess.
Okay.
Beat me up with baseball bats. And so I was on my way home. It messed me up pretty good.
Yeah. Was that a one incident or so?
I mean, the jumping stuff was like frequent. Like my cousins had to get involved a few times. Like they caught kids like picking on me and stuff, and they'd hop out, like they'd tell their dad to stop and hop out the car, and then next thing you know, it's like them trying to like get these kids off of me. So it was.
How long did that go on?
I had to start leaving school early just so I could get home safe. And that was like a full school year. And then if I wasn't at school, I was fine. The minute that I went back to school, it was consistent. So I used to get fights in like the school bathrooms and stuff like that. So like that went on, I want to say like 3rd grade maybe, up until I got kicked out of the school district.
Well, they kicked you out because you were fighting back. You just weren't laying down and taking an ass whooping. You were fighting back, and they were reporting it, or what was the deal?
Yeah, so I started fighting back. There was a couple of other incidents where people were accusing me of just starting fights. And so sure enough, I got kicked out. I guess it was just like, oh, we have this laundry list of things. I'm like, and through court, it even showed the person dropped charges and everything. I'm like so like clearly they didn't have anything. But yeah, it was just like this very long thing. And then they were like, okay, well, we recommend this school. So then I got transferred to a behavioral school that no longer exists, and you're gonna see why in a minute. It was very hands-on. Like teachers were allowed to pretty much box you out. And the fighting over there was a lot different than the fighting over here.
It's a little more intense.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that I have an issue with those behavioral schools, because when I was coming up, they had them too.
Yeah.
They would take the kids that were wayward and the kids that they felt were wayward, and according to their analysis and report, and they just would just like pretty much throw you away.
Yeah,
And it put you in a worse situation.
we were very discarded. Like I remember talking to kids that were there,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, "Yeah, bro, like we're just junk to these people.
Yeah, it just makes you worse.
We're just dollars.
You're
pretty
not
much."
really getting any help.
Like the education was subpar. They had like on-site therapists that you had to see regularly.
Mm-hmm.
And that was probably the best help you were gonna get at that school. And it was
What's the therapist?
yeah, it was a therapist. Yeah,
Right.
like whoever you had.
Mm-hmm.
There were some teachers there that were actually like very like they had that nurturing bone in them where they wanted to lead you and like teach you. But you're in an environment, and it's funny because like I remember describing it to like people I knew,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, that sounds like freaking jail pretty much.
That's crazy. I was just thinking the same thing. It's like this is almost like juvenile hall.
Yeah,
prepping
yeah.
you for
You gotta go home,
the county and then prison.
you go home, but like most of these kids that went home, they went home to like terrible environments, and so like
It's a repeated cycle.
it's just a repeated cycle. So it was just
No
like
breaks.
a lot of fighting at home, a lot of fighting at school. I remember like I would like talk to a lot of like the kids and be like, hey, like how you doing, man? What's going on? I'm like, oh, you know, this and this happened at home.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes to school, and then this and this happened here. And I'm like, nah, man. Like, and it was, if you got in trouble and you got into like a big fight, especially with the teacher, because like I said, teachers were allowed to put hands on you.
Yeah.
They'd throw you in this room with like padding. How are you gonna feel when you get thrown into a room with like padding, like an animal? Like you get treated like an animal, you get turned to feel like an animal. You're gonna start acting like an animal. And I would see kids act like that, like rabid dogs sometimes, trying to like get out of those rooms. And it just, and some kids, like, I would say as an aspect, there's a certain level where you can control it. And then there's a certain level where it's like, it just becomes, like you said, blow up.
Right.
These kids were like,
Right.
they get to here where they could control whatever they could. And everything else was just a matter of ticking time bomb. And these kids would blow up.
So how did you get out of that situation? When did it get to the point to where enough is enough?
Eventually, like I had to stay there pretty much indefinitely until I graduated. But-
Graduated what? Middle school or high school?
High school.
So wait a minute. So if I stand corrected, you went there when you were like third, fourth grade?
No, I went there when I was in 8th grade.
Okay, 8th grade.
Yeah.
Okay, so we jumped a bit. So 8th grade to high school. That's almost like 4 years.
The bullying was like me staying in that before I got kicked out.
Mm-hmm.
Happened from like 4th,
Mm-hmm.
3rd, 4th grade up until 8th grade.
Okay.
So I was just like constantly getting in fights.
Wow.
And then in 8th grade, I got into this big fight and got jumped, started taking it out on the kids that were like really picking on me. And I was like, all right. Started targeting these kids. Wait, when they weren't in groups, and then sure enough, they're like, all right, your son has a lot of issues.
Yeah, you start picking them off. You start being a sniper.
Yeah, and then like I was
Just in a one-on-one.
yeah. And then I started like having issues of like where I was like telling the therapist I want to run away from home and things like that. And they're like, all right, your kid has like a lot of issues. This is what we recommend.
You know, usually I hear some stories like that because, you know, going back to Mike Tyson, you know, he went through a lot of shit too in his childhood with abuse and bullying and fighting and, you know, and crime. And he turned around and got into boxing. I could have seen you doing like maybe MMA or some shit like that, man.
Oh, I thought about it. It's just, it's costly. It's costly. So it's like,
Even on an amateur level, just getting into it, going to a gym is costly?
Yeah, because like you still have to get a trainer, proper nutrition plan, and all that.
Oh, right.
But like,
yeah, because Tyson, he has somebody who believes the guy behind him,
and he
Customado got behind him, and
he kind of
that
like,
was like the big front end. Yeah.
And like, it was pretty much like a down payment. He knew he was going to get his investment
Right.
back.
Right.
Now, what I got into was lifting.
Mm.
Well, it's just activities in general.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling, football,
Mm-hmm.
baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I liked football. Probably not for the best reasons, but, you know, people pissed me off. I made them hurt. And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
And then wrestling, I did decent. Used to get in trouble a lot for making teammates cry. And I'm like, I thought we were supposed to, you know, practice like how we're going to perform, you know?
Right. You're supposed to go all out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when it came to tournaments, I was like always worried because I would get my ass beat if I made kids cry.
Mm-hmm.
I was always worried about making people cry.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd be like, all right, I'm just going to.
So this is this is like after or during high school while you still going to school?
This was during middle school.
During middle school too. You know, and in hindsight now, you can sit back and think about it. All of the bullying, all of this fighting, all of the treatment you were getting from the teachers and the schools, that turns you into that beast, man.
Yeah, it definitely like fueled like a big hatred. A hatred towards, you know, authority, a hatred towards adults. There was like a big hatred towards adults at some point. Anyone that thought they were better than me. Like there was a lot of anger. And, you know, that anger still kind of lingers. I don't think that anger ever is truly going to die. I think you just learn to overcome it.
Mm-hmm. Know how to deal with it, get tools. And that's what the therapist is kind of helping you with too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I can imagine in the session, you just lay it on the line, right?
Yeah.
Hold it back, right?
When I like,
because you can't really get no help if you hold it back.
Yeah. I pretty much spill everything out to her. Like all the thoughts of suicide and everything else and all the anger and like all the crap that I went through, like the family violence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that was probably like the biggest in-depth thing we've talked about was that like my mom would get mad at my sisters, beat my ass. My dad would get mad at my mom or my sisters, beat my ass.
Now that you're older, what do you think that was though? Why were you the punching bag?
And I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad. But let's be real here. I just think that they were just unhappy people.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is hurt people create hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know how to deal with your emotions.
I agree with you.
So you take out those emotions on others.
Mm-hmm.
And
I also found like when people don't know how to express themselves, the vocabulary isn't vast enough to be able to have a conversation and put those words in place to express themselves. They get frustrated too.
Yeah.
It just, you know, it's the easiest thing to do is just, you know, fuck somebody up.
yeah, just like I remember a thing that was said to me the most, you want to cry, I'll give you a reason to cry.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy, man. You know, I don't know if that spread, you know, around throughout just the nation.
Here's that.
You know what I mean? It's like it's big in, you know, in the Black community. It's like, you know, you want something to cry about? Fix your face. And this is what we grew up on until they started to say, you know, your ass go to jail for hitting your kids and this.
Yeah.
It's slacked off, but I don't really believe that, you know, that's a end all be all means to parenting. Sometimes you gotta really check a kid and let them know who's the adult here.
And honestly, I think to an extent, obviously, there's an extent of where you could, you know, discipline your child.
Right.
A spank here, you know, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well,
it's got to be healthy.
Yeah, a gut punch, that's a different thing. And that's kind of like I was like dealing
that's
with
abuse. Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, what it did was it just turned me into a person that like I started laughing at it. Like, oh, that's all you got?
Wow.
And it was just like,
Wow. You got numb to it.
yeah, it was very much like, all right, that's all right.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you think that came with just knowing that, okay, this is my living condition. It's happening today. It's like, I'm already projecting it's going to happen again. So let me let me prepare myself. It's like a defense mechanism against it.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like you're gonna.
Because it's going to happen again. So let me prepare for it. So,
I remember
Yeah.
saying that actually. I was like, I'm like, what are you gonna do? Hit me one more time?
yeah.
And like, yeah, it was very, very, very much like that. I remember that interaction with my father, and it was just like, ah, whatever, you're not worth it, kind of like thing. And I was like, all right, that fed me into being like this bad kid, because it's like, well, all you're gonna do is beat the crap out of me.
Right.
So, like, all right, let's give you a reason. And like,
So you started to doing things. You start to acting out.
oh yeah,
Because you know it's coming anyway. So you know what? I'm gonna do some
give
things
you
anyway.
something valid to beat my ass for.
Right. Right.
So, and I digress. As an adult now, you shouldn't do that. But
Right.
like as a kid,
Right.
you're dealing with your emotions and like puberty, all this stuff, like internal environments, external environments. Like it's just a lot. Like you don't know how to deal with it, so you deal with it in ways that you think are rational. And obviously, that's not a rational way of thinking.
Did you get in any trouble with the law? Did you end up going to jail or anything down the line?
I got here and there, nothing like
Nothing major.
nothing. Well, but nothing that like, I got incarcerated for.
Okay. So you never really done any time for it?
Yeah, I never done any time for anything.
Okay. This is surprising though.
I did things that should have
Yeah.
given me a lot of time, but I never did time for any of the things.
Yeah, because usually when, listen to your story, when you have that much violence in your life, either you're administering it or you're receiving it, the end of the line on that is usually jail or death.
Yeah, and I did, as when I was in that behavioral school, I didn't become affiliated.
Okay.
And
With the gangs.
yeah.
Okay.
And they had, obviously, I'm light skinned, white, as they would have said. They're not going to suspect you.
Knowing what you know now, would you have taken that route
Absolutely.
and been led by that leadership?
Absolutely not.
Yeah. And the reason why I'm asking you that is because this is what goes on in the hood. I grew up in the hood as well.
Yeah.
And my story is a little different from yours. I got into selling drugs, 13, 14. I started selling drugs, weed here and there. And it just progressed to, selling, cocaine and then larger amounts of cocaine. Ended up in prison behind it. Ended up, hurting a lot of people along the way in the community.
Yeah.
Selling the shit in the community. It's not like I wasn't taking it and I'm going outside the community and selling it. I'm selling it to my own people. We are getting into, violence, things that, are just totally unhealthy and not conducive to a way that I would say anybody should be living. But, I was having a conversation with somebody the other day. I have a lot of conversations.
Yeah.
And, people would probably hear me say this through all my episodes because it's true. I talk to a lot of people. I love people. I love talking to people. I love learning from people. And I also like to read. And I'm reading in this book about cults, the occult, how they go through a process of being brainwashed at a very young age. And some of them get out. When they get out, they realize, damn, I was gone. I wasn't even myself. What I was doing while I was in it, I thought that it was right.
Yeah.
Same thing with hustling, with being introduced to gang life and street life. It's the same shit. It's a cult, man.
Yeah.
And you don't really realize it until you get out of it how bad of a situation that was, not only for you, but for all the people that were involved and the people that were around you and the people that you were involved in any nefarious activity that you were doing, and just that whole culture. It's a cult, and what you were in a cult as well.
Yeah.
Because at 14, man, you're not supposed, just like me, I'm not supposed to be thinking about making money. And so I'm supposed to be doing the things that a kid does to develop myself to become an outstanding man, a stand-up guy.
A good citizen.
A good citizen. Same with you, So I said it to say, man, we were locked in coats, man, you know, but we made it out, man, which is good. And I like to be able to say that, you know, anybody that's going on that path, don't get caught up.
Yeah, it's not.
Don't get caught up because it's a waste of time, effort, and it's too dangerous.
You don't. As much as it made me the person I am today, you don't gain any value from it. And for me, you should be doing things you gain value from. So,
yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, like you said, it kind of like shaped you and made you. You did grab some value from it, but at the same time, it's selfish.
yeah,
You know, you kind of like shaped yourself based on
it was like
negative,
the right and
bad
wrong
things that you were doing. You know, because there's a lot of great people in the world who have shaped themselves and have great character and great people based on all the good things that they did in the world.
Yeah.
But it all goes back to being locked in a coat. You're brainwashed as a kid. You know, our brains are developing. We don't really know. We think we know. You know, we don't know. And we get in, and what do? It's just like when, you know, your mother said, come on, we're going to go get ice cream. What do? You light up. We're going to get candy. You light up. You know, you want the good things. You know, it's part of conditioning too. You know, and then, you know, as you get to a point where you have a little bit of independence, you can start thinking for yourself. What lights you up is what comes into play. What really lights you up? You know, what do you enjoy? You know, for you, the fellowship of having, you know, family through the game.
Yeah,
and a lot of guys click. Yeah. You know, and for me, it was, I like nice things. I like what I want. And I'm not, you know, it's not being given to me. The family can't provide it for me. I'm going to go get it myself. But how do I just continue, because I play ball, continue to play sports, continue to do what I'm doing. 2 years down the line, I'm going to be eligible for a job. I can give me a permit. I can start making some money. I don't need much at that age.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, it is what it is, man. And it was what it was, you know, and I'm just glad and thankful that I made it out. And I would not recommend it for anybody.
With that, I would like to say congratulations.
Yeah, man. Same to you, man, because to be in a position where that's heavy, man, you know, to want to take your life.
Yeah, it was just
Suicide, you know, that's like the ultimate. And you didn't do it, and I'm so glad you didn't, man.
I did actually.
But no, you didn't take your life. You're still here.
I won't know. Like I did it. Man. It's just my sister caught me.
Well, yeah, man.
And like,
thank God for your sister.
I'm grateful for her.
Yeah.
Because it's just, it was just, now that I look at it, it was a dumb thing. And don't get me wrong, like, as dumb as it was, there's still times where, like, that's why I go to therapy. I still think about it sometimes.
Yeah.
It's a very, like I said, if you need help, don't think you're going to do it alone. You're not.
Yeah.
It's just, I know people that are like, oh, well, I've thought about it this time and I didn't go through with it. Yeah, and this is my big thing that I tell them all the time, is I've probably thought about it, or I've done it, I've attempted probably the same amount of fingers I have on my hands.
Oh, so you didn't do it just once?
Nah, I've attempted a few times. I've attempted like total of 4.
So your sister wasn't there all 4 times. How did you get out of the other 3 times?
One was a misfire on a gun. It was just like very coincidental things. Things just didn't play out right. I attempted an overdose. I didn't. Obviously overdose. Like, it didn't work. And then hung myself. Yeah, that's where my sister caught me. So yeah, there's been like a few attempts, and I tell them, yeah, I've attempted a couple of times. Like, it's been there. And I don't think about it like I did back then. This was like all before my 20s. I feel like the biggest part of it on why was that I was trying to control the world when I just needed to learn to control my world. What I can and let go of everything else that I couldn't. And yeah, that's helped a lot. And that's just something I had to learn on my own. And now with therapy, it helped me forgive myself for the times that I have attempted, because that was a big thing. Like, I hated myself.
I was gonna say there's a part of it, like a little bit of a shame there.
Yeah.
Your behavior, or what was the shame coming in at?
It was just like, and this kind of goes back with like childhood stuff. There was a comment made one time, from my father, and I don't say this for people to like bash him or anything, because you know, my dad was a young dad, and he was struggling in his own wars in his head, and
trying to do the best that he could to raise you and your sisters.
And same thing with my mom. But everybody has a battle that we don't know about.
Right.
But he made a comment, and he goes, can't even do that right. And he was referring to my suicide attempt.
Oh, wow.
And there was this whole long laundry list of like, you know, me never being good enough. Came from my parents, came from people like kids at school. And it ingrained this like thought in my head that I will never be good enough. No matter what I do, I will never be good enough. And yeah, like it still sticks with me. Like, that's honestly why I lift. And I will say that I lift sometimes to the point where it feels like things are gonna break. Because
you mean as far as like a bone or something?
Yeah, like physically things are gonna break. And it's just like, I want to feel like I'm gonna be good enough. And like, if I hit a weight, like the other day, the first time I attempted a 405 Zercher squat, I failed it 2 times.
Damn, that's a lot of weight.
To me, that's nothing.
Yeah.
That's nothing to me. I want to.
Well, I mean, you a big guy. I mean, I'm a little guy, man. 405, man. It's like, I won't even think about that.
Even like bigger guy, like one of my friends, he's a pretty big guy too. Not as big as me, but he's like, dude, that's a lot of weight. I'm like, that's nothing. Like, I want, like, it's never gonna be good enough. And like, that's why, like, when I hit it, and like I went down the first time, and like I dropped it. I couldn't do it. Second time, I fell forward. Third time, I clenched my teeth as tight as I can, squeezed every muscle in my body, and I pushed. And when I tell you that my body was literally on fire, every little nerve ending was like, kind of felt like ants biting me everywhere, but like times 5.
Yeah, I don't know what that looks like. I don't even know what that feels like.
I was hurting. I was in a lot of pain.
Yeah. But you didn't injure yourself though.
No injury. I felt like things were gonna tear. I definitely felt like things were gonna tear.
Yeah.
Felt like my hamstrings were gonna tear.
Yeah.
But I just clenched, and I was
toughed it out and made it happen.
Yeah.
So you did it.
So like, and like, that's the thing. Like, I feel like that's kind of like with mental health. It's very similar. Like, you kind of just, you feel like you're gonna break, and you gotta just tough it out, you know?
Yeah, and have an outlet, you know, and that's pretty cool, man. You know, like I was telling you earlier, I found my purpose, right? Because we all deal with our own shit, you know, and you know, finding out something that you can live for, that you feel that you have a purpose, something that that drives you, that you want to wake up in the morning, that you're excited about, that you're passionate about, you know. I think it's really important that we all have that, you know, because it's a great feeling. Not only that, it's besides just a feeling, you are making a contribution to, you know, our world. You know, at the end of the day, we got what we got, which is each other. You know, people, you know, and, you know, the quicker, in my opinion, we learn to respect, love, and look out for one another, you know, the better we'll be all as a human race, you know.
Yeah.
First and foremost, we have to, you know, take care of self first. We have to find out what we could do to contribute to that by being the best that we can be, you know. And I think what I'm kind of like hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, have you found your purpose yet? Because here's the thing. You tried to off yourself 4 times. Didn't happen. Do you believe in God?
What was that?
Do you believe in God?
Not really.
Not really.
I have a very funny belief in life.
Okay. Okay.
I don't really believe in like that we have opportunities.
Okay.
It's kind of like everything's an odd chance, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You could do this or you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like if I would have continued down that road where, you know, I wanted to stick with the gang stuff and all that, obviously I would have like I probably wouldn't be here. I probably would be. Who knows? Maybe I would have been incarcerated. Maybe I would have finally got caught up or something. But it was all on the aspect of, you know, it wasn't good enough. Like it didn't feel good enough for me. And my goal now is, and I'm really hoping I am reaching that point of like, you know, I'm finding what's meant for me.
Right. Keep living, brother.
Yeah.
Keep living. You know, because I'm listening to your story and I'm really, really big on my relationship with the Creator. You know, there's things that happen in my life to where I've gotten out of very tough situations. I have been in positions where I felt like, you know, my chest was going to cave in. I was in so much pain, so much hurt. And I'll give you an incident. I was in federal prison. My mother passed away. I'm deeply connected to my mother. You know, I'm a mommy's boy. It's not, I'm going to tell it like it is. You know, I have a very close relationship with my mother. I love my mother dearly. And I lost my brother too, consecutively, like back to back. And here it is. I'm not able to go to the funeral.
Yeah.
And leading up to that point, there are situations where we have gotten into shootouts. I'm hearing bullets zing by my head. I come up in a community where people have lost their lives for less than. And here I am still standing. And the last straw for me is I grew up knowing God. My mother was very religious. We grew up in Catholicism, Catholics.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, so I knew God. But as I got older and became an adult, I started having a relationship. I started seeking for myself something that I can make it more personal. And I became spiritual, and that's where I'm at. I don't have a denomination.
Yeah.
And it's worked for me. And it's been divine intervention a lot in my life. And the biggest point of divine intervention for me was when I was in federal prison and they wouldn't let me go to the funeral. And I'm hurting so bad. I dropped to my knees because I didn't know how I was going to make it every day in my head the way that I was and my heart being heavy. And I just prayed. I said, you know, God, get me out of this situation. I'll never, ever look back on this. I need to be able to be relieved of this pressure that I'm feeling in my chest, in my head. Help me to be able to move along day to day better than the way that I'm moving along now.
Yeah.
I need peace. And I left it alone and I started to, you know, continue to do my, you know, reading and, you know, I read the Bible from front to back. I read all through it. I did it twice. But, you know, a lot of times when you're incarcerated, that's all you have.
Yeah, all you have is
time, you know, so you got to use it wisely or you use it the wrong way and you may not never come home. And so I chose the former. I used it the right way, you know, and I got really in tune And so when I hear people's stories such as yourself, you know, I'm not here to try and convert you.
No, yeah.
Nothing. That's not what it's about for me.
I was actually raised Catholic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my
Oh, man.
parents are Catholic. I got baptized, confirmed,
Yeah.
the whole 9 yards.
Palm Sundays.
Yeah.
Ash Wednesdays.
I just
Communion.
was never, and it's funny because like my biggest fan, and I always say she was my biggest fan,
Mm-hmm.
my biggest supporter, she passed away, was my grandmother.
Right.
And I'd always hear flack about like, oh, you're not religious enough, you're not this enough, you're not that.
Well, you being Hispanic, you know, they have a Spanish mass when it comes to Catholicism. You know, that's the Hispanic culture is really big in Catholicism.
Yeah.
You know, as well as the African American culture. So, you know, we would see that. We on Christmas you'd have two masses. You have a Spanish mass, and you have you'd have the regular English speaking mass. And even on Sundays you'd have the Spanish mass and you have the English speaking mass. So I understand, you know, your foundation, and you coming from the background of being rooted in Catholicism, you know. But yeah, man, that's pretty deep. Where you're at right now is you're doing the lifting. What else are you doing? You still doing the therapy?
I still do the therapy. I do the lifting. My big thing is just trying to like promote people that are like, you know, having that difficulty to get into the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're big, whether you're small.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have that aspect. Well, this guy is doing this in the gym because that's the way his genetics are built, or you know, he was already in great shape or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's not true. Some of the biggest fitness influencers were either really skinny or really out of shape, and they just decided to make that change.
Right.
And fitness doesn't have to mean you're running a 5K every couple months or constant I hate cardio. I don't do cardio unless like, you know, I'm trying to cut weight. But like, reality of it is that I just lift. Like, you could lift. There's calisthenic workouts. There's just so many options, so many avenues. You don't need a lot of equipment for certain things. So it's just like when I started, I got trash bags, put a bunch of water in them, and I was just curling it.
You was doing a gel workout.
Yep. Grabbed a t-shirt and just was like,
yeah. But you got to start somewhere. That's neat. You started somewhere. Yeah. Were you always like this size, or since you've been going to the gym, have you cut some weight? Lost some weight? What's the deal?
I've lost 80 pounds since I got back into the gym. So I got back into the gym in December, but
December of last year.
Last year, yeah. But my heaviest I've ever been was 480.
480. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's big.
I was a big boy.
Yeah, you was Hostess Twinkies and steaks and
drinking.
Anything else?
Drinking. A lot of drinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that drinking put a lot of that. I stopped doing it like 5 years ago, man, for other reasons, but that's one of the reasons. And I feel so much better, man. I'm in the best shape that I possibly could ever have been, and my thoughts are so clear.
A lot of people don't realize that it is poison. It is poison.
Yeah.
The way your body breaks it down, it turns into a literal toxin, and that's what your liver does, is that it breaks it down, turns into that toxin that you can urinate. And that's how you get alcohol poisoning, is when you drink so much, and I've been there where I had it, that your liver can't digest, or I guess convert
and process all the alcohol that you consume.
That toxin that your body turns it into, and that's where you get alcohol poisoning. I was drinking like a gallon of moonshine a week, probably. Sometimes like almost daily. I was a very heavy drinker.
What percentage of alcohol is on that moonshine?
It was homemade, so it was like,
oh boy,
I was living in
backyard boogie,
North Carolina.
Oh shit, really backyard boogie.
Tennessee, I was living where they make it good.
Yeah.
And so
good enough to kill you.
Yeah. And it was just like, it was not a good time. Like, I was drinking at work. I was like on our lunch breaks, before work, after work. We'd go to bars and strip clubs, and drink there, and then
So what is that? Is that just like the norm down in Tennessee to drink moonshine? They make it themselves. That
it's
down
honest.
in North Carolina, and Tennessee, because it's not the first time I heard that
When you're
about moonshine.
Well, yeah. So it's very much it comes from like those backwoods states because it's like
I guess the soil and the climate allows you to make it, right?
And then it's all like corn and all that stuff, like corn. What is it? Corn, wheat, and all this other stuff that they can make it with. And so it's just it's easy for them to make it. And it all started when, from my understanding of it, from like what they told me was when the prohibition started, and they weren't able to buy alcohol.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
You can just make your own.
I heard that too. Yeah.
Yeah, and like they can make it like it was like 200 proof, 100% alcohol.
Damn.
And if you get it from someone that's really good, and I'm not promoting this, but like this is like the reality of it, is that if you get it from someone who's really good at making it, they can make that 100% alcohol taste like water. The way they filter it, the way they do the whole process, it's super silky smooth. And that's where I remember.
But that's dangerous
it's
too.
Super dangerous.
Because we go back to talking about toxins. You really are just torching the liver.
Yeah, I was
torching the body.
I got to the point where like my eyes started turning yellow. I was getting like pretty much stages of jaundice. I ended up made a call to like my grandmother, started making these teas she recommended to like kind of cleanse myself.
Old school remedies.
Yeah, old school remedies.
Grandmothers got it, man. Grandmothers and moms, they got it. They'll save that ass.
And she's like, drink this, put a little bit of Vicks of that. And I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
And sure enough, after like, it did not take that long at all. I also come from a family that drinks, like parties. So like my dad's German, Irish, and Hispanic. And my mom is Mexican. So
yeah,
like if you know anything, which most people do, that's a combination of generational drinkers.
Yeah.
And so
yeah, it's in the blood. Yeah.
Yeah.
You inherit a little bit of that bad behavior.
Yeah.
The characteristics.
Yeah. So eventually I just like kicked that off, and then I dropped down from like 480 to 300, and then I went back up, and then I was like probably like 460. Dropped back down to 300, like exactly on the top.
Where you at right now? You about 3-something now?
I'm 370.
You're carrying it well, man. Yeah. Hey, would you want to get down some more?
Oh, absolutely. I'm trying to be like maybe 280.
280.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good for you, huh? You plan on doing like maybe taking it to another level where you can get like some sponsorships?
Oh, absolutely.
Make this a way of life for you or something? I think that'd be good for you. I can see you doing that because you already with your channel. I'm looking at not your channel, but with your Instagram page.
Yeah,
it looks like that, man. It's got that motion. You got that motion, man. Yeah, and I can see you continuously doing that and diving in that, man, deeply, man, and putting some time and energy and effort into that, and keep doing what you're doing because it looks good, man. It's entertaining, and you're doing something positive, man. I can see you building something up to what I could possibly be a career choice for you, and you know, monetary wise, it could be something that could, you know, pay you handsomely.
Yeah.
Get you into some other aspects of the fitness world, man. Yeah, that's good, man. You know, I wanted to touch on some other things, man, but we can come back and we'll get to that, man. I gotta get out of here, and I know that you got a few things that you need to do today as well. But I appreciate you stopping by and sharing with me, man. That's
anytime, man. Anytime.
That was that was really poignant what you shared, and at the end of the day, man, I think that if anybody is going down the path of thinking about even taking their life, man, or is in a position where they're going to be doing something that's detrimental to themselves or others, seek the help, seek the therapy.
Absolutely.
Did.
Seek that.
Yeah. Therapy is big, man.
I would recommend start off with talking to a friend, talking to somebody that you truly trust, and then just get comfortable talking, because I think that's the biggest part. Is
get it all out.
That hard time talking about it first.
Yeah. Where can the people find you at?
You can find me on
What you guys want right now?
Instagram right now is my only avenue. I do plan on making a YouTube, doing some podcast stuff, just showing that,
Right.
day-to-day life or life events in general that, especially to the fitness community, like people that are like trying to get in and are worried that that's all it's going to be, that it doesn't have to just be that. That you can have life, you could have fun, you can go to raves, parks, enjoy baseball games, all this stuff. Especially like me, I have a big eating problem. Like I eat a lot. I like to eat. You just got to eat in smart ways, and that's it.
Right. What's the Instagram handle?
Instagram handle is scumbag. Hyphenated.
Yeah.
That hyphenated lifts.
Nice. So scumbag hyphenated that lifts.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can even just put scumbag that lifts and
It'll pop up.
Yeah.
Well, Bryan, I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
I'm glad you shined some light on that, man. And I'm hoping that like I said, if somebody picks up on this, and may need that help, that they take some of those measures and seek any avenue that they can or they need to in order to be able to prevent them from, going down a path of harming themselves.
Yeah. If it's one thing I would like to tell everybody that watches this, that you are worth it. You are worth the effort. You are worth the work.
Nice.
Just know that.
Yeah. I agree with you, man. We're going to get out of here, man.